This is another session of peritoneal catheter insertion. We are doing this for a patient who has CKD 5 and has gotten to that point where this patient has to be on dialysis. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate shortly PD catheter insertion. Patient is going to have continuous ambulatory peritoneal dialysis (CAPD). For selected patients, CAPD is a very good option for patients with kidney failure. CAPD affords selected patients the opportunity for them to have dialysis at the comfort of their home. Gives them advantage over the hemodialysis, where a patient will have to come to the hospital 3 times a week. I will have to connect the patient to a dialysis machine where the blood will flow out to the dialysis machine, and the dialysis machine will do the exchange, removal of the waste in the blood, and return to the patient. But for CAPD, we are saying that this patient will not need to come to the hospital. The patient will be in the comfort of his home and do his exchange. So what this does is that we'll put in a flexible tube, and this flexible tube which you're about to do now will be used as a means of access to the peritoneal cavity. The patient uses his own body as a filter to remove the waste, and that happens at the peritoneum, the abdominal cavity. Usually we put about 2 ml of fluid in the peritoneal cavity, and that is about regular size bottled water. Too much is not too burdensome. The patient will carry it and walk around with it. After that, about 4 hours, the patient is able to, after filling the peritoneal cavity with that 2 liters of peritoneal fluid, and this is what the total looks like. So this is 2 liters peritoneal fluid. This is what it looks like. Okay? It is 1.5% PD fluid. So when we put into the peritoneal cavity, the patient carries it about, goes about with it for about 2 hours, 4 hours, and after that we drains the fluid. After draining, that will come out with a lot of waste, and we continue that cycle about 3-4 times a day, and overnight we also need to drain the fluid to be in the peritoneal cavity. Like I said, for selected patients, for our practice in this center, we have options for hemodialysis and peritoneal dialysis. The patients that we usually bring up and enroll for CAPD are patients that have good residual kidney function at the time of their initiation into dialysis. So such patients we usually prefer such patients. The other group of patients too are patients who are quite ill, and what they call the body's state, the state of health is not good enough for them to be on the machine. The machine requires a lot of stability for it to function. For those that are not stable, peritoneal dialysis is the perfect way to go for them to have exchange and excretion of the waste in their system. So I'm going to start the PD insertion. Again, one of the other things about peritoneal dialysis is a lot, apart from the fact that it is convenient for our patient, it is much more cheaper. However, the initial part of peritoneal dialysis, which is the peritoneal dialysis T2 insertion, which we're about to do now, is a little bit more expensive than hemodialysis. For the average patient will spend about 400 to 600,000 to have a peritoneal catheter inserted into the peritoneum, and usually because it requires a theater setup, a very sterile procedure, and a bit of a mini surgical procedure where we'll put this flexible tube into the peritoneal cavity. So the insertion fees will be a little bit more than hemodialysis. So I will just demonstrate how to put this catheter shortly.
We put in 500 mils. This is about finishing. So we put another, sometimes 1 liters, 1.5 liters, fill the peritoneum. So that will help us to do the Selvigas method. What it looks like. Okay. This is 1.5% feeding fluid. So when we put into the peritoneal cavity, patient carries it goes about with it for about 2 hours, 4 hours, and after that he drains the fluid. After draining, that will come out with a lot of waste, and we continue that cycle about 3-4 times a day, and overnight we also leave to drain the fluid to be in the peritoneal cavity. This one.